First look at the official build of Evolution X Snow version 6.0 based on Android 12 running on the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. Hey peeps, what's up? Munchie here, back with another video, and in this video we're going to have our first look at Evolution X version being 6.0. The code name is Snow, and this of course is based on Android 12 running on the Redmi K20 Pro or the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. The security patch, as you can see, is from November. Kernel they are using is perf kernel. SE Linux is enforcing out of the box, and this is how your ROM is going to look like. And this here is your power menu. Yes, you can have a bunch of options in your power menu. As for the volume panel, this is how the volume panel is going to look like, and these here are your quick settings. You do have a bunch of different tiles, and they have given you the ability to turn on and off your Wi-Fi and mobile data. Other than that, you also have the caffeine tile, the extra dim tile, and you also have sync ring, and yes, you do have a partial screenshot tile as well. So here it is. Right now it is on partial. Let me press and hold, and now I should be able to take a partial screenshot. There it is. The UI did change a little bit. There is some lag, and this might be a bug because it is not saving it. Okay, it did save it now. So let us try to give this one more try to see how it works out. So here it is. Partial screenshot is on. Let me press and hold, and there it is. The UI kicked in, and now let us do this, and we are still waiting. Okay, so now it worked. You do have to be a bit patient, and that might be an issue with the initial build. Next up, let us have a look at the recents. So bam, these are your recents over here, and of course with Android 12 you are able to share the link directly, and super surprisingly it picked up my contact over here, and if I tap on more, that is when it opens the quick share menu. So that is a pretty nifty feature. Select, bam, here it is, working without any issue. Screenshot of course works. They have added the option of deleting your screenshot as well. And while we're talking about screenshots, let us try to take a screenshot of the settings page. Capture more is there, and now I should be able to move these knobs around to check out the content which I want to capture. Once that is done, tap on the save on top left, and bam, there it is. Screenshot was saved without any issues. Next up, since this is Pixel Launcher, you do have your at a glance working without any issues. So you can also go into home settings, check out at a glance, and next up, let us head over to the widgets section, and here it is. You do get the new paint chips widget as well. So for this you have to enable the first Easter egg by tapping on the Android version, and then this one will show up. Tap on it, tap on any of the color, you can share it using the quick share menu of Android. Then you also have the new clock widgets as well. Again, make sure you have updated all your applications from the Play Store, and this one does let you choose a different clock face as well. Then let us head over to wallpapers and style. So this here is the UI. You can of course change your application grid. You do have a toggle for themed icons as well. And if you go into change wallpaper, yes, the Pixel 6 exclusive static wallpapers are there. And if you want to download the live versions, you do have the option of downloading the Bloom edition from the Pixel 6 as well. Other than that, you also have the Pixel 6 exclusive motif wallpapers as well. Let us try to change the wallpaper to say this one, and tap on the check mark on the bottom right. There it is. Material U has kicked in, and the icons have also now changed. And let us have a look at the power menu. So the power menu is still the same, and surprisingly the volume panel is also using the old accent color for now, but the quick settings panel has changed. So this might be some lingering issues in the initial build, but again, the settings page did adapt to Material U. Let me check out the phone application. Yep, phone has changed to Material U. Clock has also changed to the new accent color. So I'm not sure why the volume panel is still using the old accent color, but again, oh, surprising. Yep, if I tap elsewhere, you see it changes from blue to the new accent color. So it might be an issue with the initial build. Next up, you do have some Pixel 6 exclusive features. So here it is, speak now to voice type, and as you can see, it is working without any issues. And if you tap on the question mark, it will show you all the commands it can take. It can take stop, delete, clear. So those are all the commands which you can give. And if I pause right now and say clear all, bam, there it is. Everything was cleared out and now it is typing again. So yep, the Pixel exclusive feature of assistant typing is there and it is working like a boss on this specific build. And while we are at the topic of Pixel 6 exclusive features, let us try out the interpreter mode as well. So hey Google, fire up the interpreter mode please. Let me give it one more try. Interpreter mode.
Alright, what language do you want translated?
So this time around, let us try some other language. Let us say I want to translate this to Hindi.
Got it, Hindi.
Hi, how are you?
Namaste. आप कैसे हैं?
मैं बढ़िया हूँ, आप बताओ आप कैसे हो?
I'm fine. Tell me, how are you?
Oh boy, that works super dope, super dope.
Super duper super dope.
Yep, there it is, interpreter mode working like a boss as well. Next up, let us check if system-wide search is working or not. So here it is. Let me open my application drawer. Of course, Gboard has adapted to Material You. And if I search for Munchie, there it is. You can see that it is showing up the contact, which means that your system-wide search is also working. You can, of course, configure what all content you want to be shown in system-wide search. Next up, this here is your settings. Now, unfortunately, a feature which is missing is your gaming dashboard. So that feature is not there. Other than that, let us jump over to the evolver. So herein you do have a toggle to enable or disable your dark theme. You can of course configure it to turn on and off at a custom time as well. And this here is how the dark theme is going to look like. Let us have a look at your quick settings panel with dark theme. And other than that, you also have configurations for your status bar customization. So you can configure what all icons you want to see in the status bar, clock and date settings, and you can configure the formats, the AM PMs. Do you want to see the seconds? Do you want to see the date and the date style as well? Then you have network traffic indicator. Where do you want it? Disabled, status bar, or expanded header? Do you want to see the arrows? You can configure the threshold, and you can also configure your activity type as well. Then do you want to see the battery percentage? And your battery styles include portrait, circle, and text. Then you have toggles for all these different options, and of course you can configure a custom volt icon as well. Next up, we have customization for our notifications. So of course you can configure your battery light, and you also have toggles for all these different options. Heads up notifications are there. You can configure your timeout, the snooze timer, and you can add and delete applications which can use your heads up notifications. And of course you have your toggles for vibrate on connect, call waiting, and disconnect. Then you have customization for your quick settings. Do you want vibrate on touch? Do you want to see the edit icon? Do you want to see the running services icon? And you can of course configure your quick settings pull down. Mine is set as right. There it is. Pull down from the right, it is expanded. Pull down from the left, it is not expanded. Next up in the evolver, we can go back into our quick settings customization. Of course, you have a toggle for footer warnings, smart pull down, and you can also configure your animation style, the duration, and the interpolator effect. So here it is. We did make some changes. Let us turn Bluetooth on and off. Bam, there it is. The effects are working, and of course I can feel the quick settings vibrate as well when I enable or disable them. Then you have configuration for your power menu. So herein again, hold for assistant. There it is. Press and hold and the assistant is going to fire up. Now how do you turn your device off? You will have to use the quick settings power option if you are using your power button for the assistant. And this is where you can configure all the options which you want to see in your power menu. And as you can see, I have all the toggles enabled, which is why my power menu looks super weird right now. Then you can configure your gestures. So for gestures, you can of course quickly open the camera by pressing the power button twice. For system navigation, you have three different options wherein you can choose 2 button, 3 button, or gestures. You also have swipe to invoke assistant, and you can enable or disable that using this toggle over here. And right now I'm not sure why I cannot disable or go back from the assistant. So again, another bug. I'm tapping over here and the assistant is not ready to let go. All right, the back button finally worked, and then you can also configure the sensitivity for the left edge and the right edge. One-handed mode is there, and as you can see, works without any issues. You can also create a shortcut for your one-handed mode as well. Here it is. This is the floating button, which you can of course move around, and you can also use your volume keys to enable or disable your one-handed mode. Then you also have press and hold power button for assistant. We did cover this already, and you also have prevent ringing. Then you have tap on the lock screen, so double tap on the lock screen to put the device to sleep, double tap on the status bar to sleep, and three finger screenshot. So here it is, double tap to sleep, super dope animation. Double tap to wake up, let us see. Yep, working without any issues, super dope animation. FOD on deck, not working right now. Let me give it one more try with the always on display. So hold a little longer. Yep, so that might be another issue wherein it is not working on this specific screen right now. They might have to figure some issues out with Evolution X. Next up, let us check out whether three finger screenshot is working or not. So bam, there it is. Three finger screenshot is working without any issues. We can go back to the evolver, go into gestures, covered all the options over there. Then you can of course customize your lock screen, and I'm wondering why this has not disappeared yet. Finally it did. So you have your toggles for fingerprint authentication vibration and error vibration. Then you can configure whether you want to see the media art on your lock screen or not, and you also have your lock screen music visualizer, and you do have a bunch of customizations for that as well. Then you have buttons customization. So again, this is back to your navigation options. Toggle when the screen is turned off, you can enable or disable your torch. Then you have volume rocker customization, so you can customize your volume steps for all these different options. Then you have toggles for volume rocker wake, music control by long pressing the volume buttons, reorient when the screen is rotated, and you can also control your cursor using your volume rockers. In miscellaneous, you do have a toggle to enable or disable your toast app icon, show the CPU info. There it is, the overlay working without any issues, and you can configure your default USB configuration as well. Going back into settings, the next option we can check out is the apps section. So here in see all apps, let us choose the Chrome application, go into permissions and location. So you do have a toggle to enable or disable your precise location, and three different options for your location. Then you also have a toggle to remove permissions and free up space if the app is not used. Once an app is removed and space has been freed up, it will show up here in the unused apps section. Next up, we can head over to notifications. So of course, per app notification control along with notification history and priority conversations and bubbles, everything is there. Of course, WhatsApp does not support bubbles right now. Then you also have toggles for all the different options which you see on your screen, and you also have something called notification log. So this might be similar to your notification history. There it is, but you do have some other notifications on there as well. Then you have battery here, and you do have your per app thermal profiles, and here are the thermal profile options which you can choose on a per app basis. Then if you tap on the battery percentage, it is going to show you your battery usage, and you also have battery usage as a separate section as well. Battery saver is there along with the Pixel 5 or Pixel 6 exclusive extreme battery saver. Then you also have adaptive battery and a toggle to enable or disable the battery percentage in your status bar. Next up, we have sound. So in sound, you do have sliders for all the different options. Then you can link and unlink your ring and notification volumes. You can also choose to have increasing ring volume. Once you enable this toggle, you will have a start volume and a ramp up time. Live caption is there, works without any issues, along with adaptive sound. Then you can also of course choose to enable or disable your media player in your quick settings, along with a toggle to enable or disable media recommendations based on your activity. Then you have toggles for all these different options, and you also have a toggle to disable the irritating screenshot sound along with direct sound enhancer baked into the ROM. Moving over to display. So of course you do have your brightness level. Adaptive brightness is there. Go into lock screen. You can add a text to your lock screen, show the wallet, show device controls. Always on display is there. Then you have wake screen for new notifications along with configuration for your ambient display. Screen timeout is there, but the option of screen attention is missing. Dark theme, we already covered this. You can change your font size, display size. Night light is also there. You can set a schedule based on custom timeout from sunset to sunrise, and you can also control the intensity of your night light. Auto rotate screen is there along with the toggle for enabling face detection. Double tap to wake anywhere on the screen to wake the device is also there, along with wake on plug. Next up we have security. So of course herein you do have your fingerprint on display, and this is Google's implementation. No screen of FOD, but the fingerprint works fine sometimes it does not work fine, as we saw earlier in the video. So there is definitely some room for improvement over there. Next up we have privacy. So herein you do have your privacy dashboard, which is going to tell you what all applications have accessed your location, camera, microphone in the last few hours. Next up, you also have toggles to enable or disable system-wide camera access and microphone access, along with clipboard access, and you also have a toggle to show the passwords briefly when you are typing them. Moving over to the option of system, herein of course you do have your front camera effects. You can enable or disable the LED along with sound effects, working absolutely fine. Then, super surprisingly, you also have the Pixel 6 exclusive live translate. Now, before you ask me, hey Manchi, I do not have this feature. Here is the trick. Go into your settings, go into apps. See all apps, you will have something called Android System Intelligence. Select this, scroll down, make sure the version you have is from the Pixel 6. If you updated your applications from the Play Store, you might have gotten the Pixel 5 version. In that case, tap on the three dot menu on the top right, say uninstall updates, and then install the APK, which is linked in the description of the video. And then you will have this option of live translate in your settings, and it works absolutely fine without any issues. You can configure it to translate your live caption when you are using YouTube. So working absolutely fine. Gestures, I think we've covered all the options in gestures. You also have rules. So let us say you are leaving your home, location turned on, want your Wi-Fi turned off. That is something which you can configure in your rules section. Next thing we can do is let us go ahead and check for safety net. So here it is, device is not rooted, only installed the Magisk app to check for safety net, and as you can see, safety net is passing without any issues. Next up, let us also head over to the Google Play Store, go into settings, about, here it is, Play Protect certification, device is certified. This means your banking apps are going to work without any issues. With respect to YouTube media playback, everything works absolutely fine. Live caption works, live translate works, picture in picture works. Of course, for picture in picture to work, either you need to have YouTube Premium or you need to be in a specific country in case you do not want to pay for YouTube Premium. With respect to Google Photos, you get Storage Saver Unlimited or original quality, which is going to count against your device storage. You can also try to edit a picture of my favorite football star. Here it is, portrait light in the building, working without any issues. Super important thing to note over here is that portrait light only works on human objects, not going to work on my chicken friend over here. And those of you who are looking for the feature of Magic Eraser, I do have a separate video showing you how to enable that, and that video can be found in the description of this video. With respect to the assistant lady, she's there, she works absolutely fine with the screen turned on and with the screen turned off as well. Next thing we can do is let us have a look at the app opening animations to see if you have any lags or any jitters in the UI when you are trying to open your applications. And as you can see on your screen right now, there are no lags or no jitters. With respect to your recents, everything is absolutely fine, super fast and super smooth. Next up, let us have a look at our Google feed to see if you have any lags or any jitters in the Google feed. And this is something which I have noticed across multiple ROMs, that Google feed kind of stops all of a sudden even though the data should be loaded. So I'm not sure whether this is a ROM issue, app issue, Google issue, but there are situations wherein it just stops randomly even though there is content. And on other devices, Android 11 ROMs, it would just keep on scrolling once the content has loaded, but you can clearly see it like stops even though the content is there. So again, as I mentioned, not sure what kind of issue that is. With respect to switching between applications, again, no issues in that regard either. Everything is absolutely fine. So what is the final take on Evolution X? Well, in my humble opinion, of course there is always room for improvement, but herein you do have some small minor issues which might be deal breakers for you, but for me I think they are good enough Google has implemented under display fingerprint scanner or FOD, but that again needs some tweaking as well, as we did have some issues while we were recording this video. Other than that, great to see a ROM for the K20 Pro, which does have your Pixel 6 exclusive features. And that will do it for this video. Hope my video helped you. Likes, shares, and subscribes are appreciated. Feedback and comment more than welcome. See you when I see you.